CNN, Cyclone Idai may have killed more than 1,000 people in Mozambique, President Filipe Nyusi said in an address on national radio Monday. Officially, we have a record of more than 84 dead, but everything indicates that we can have a record of more than 1,000 dead, Nyusi said, adding that 100,000 people are in danger. Nyusi was speaking after taking a flight over affected areas to view the destruction and rescue efforts. He called the situation a real humanitarian disaster of large proportions. Waters from the rivers Pungu and Buza have broken their banks, wiping out entire villages, isolating communities, and we could see, as we flew above, bodies floating, the president said. Cyclone Idai made landfall near Beira around midnight Thursday and moved through neighboring Zimbabwe and parts of Malawi. Initial assessments in Zimbabwe, Malawi, and Mozambique suggested that more than 150 people have been killed in those three countries, the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, IFRC, said Monday. But the humanitarian organization warned that the death toll could rise sharply. The cyclone has caused massive and horrifying damage in Beira, a coastal city in central Mozambique which has been cut off from the rest of the country, the IFRC said in a statement. Beira. The situation is terrible. The scale of devastation is enormous, said Jamie Lesueur, who is leading IFRC's assessment team in the city. Almost everything is destroyed. Communication lines have been completely cut, and roads have been destroyed. Some affected communities are not accessible, Lesueur, who is heading the organization's investigations into the damage, said in a statement. The airport in Beira, Mozambique, was damaged during Cyclone Idai. The number of Zimbabweans that we have lost at the present count is 89, government spokesman Nick Mangwana told reporters at a briefing on Monday, adding that engineers were working to get medication and food supplies to those affected. Zimbabwe President Emmerson Mnangagwa has made a disaster declaration for affected areas, the country's Ministry of Information said. Many are still missing in the wake of the cyclone, which triggered floods and rains sweeping away hundreds of homes in the eastern and western parts of Zimbabwe, authorities there said. The Information Ministry shared pictures of some pupils who had been rescued from a boarding school in Chimanimani district, one of the worst affected areas in the east of the country. Bridges were swept away, and power and communication lines in the area have been cut off. The cyclone comes a week after severe flooding associated with the same storm system that later became Cyclone Idai affected 1.5 million people in Mozambique and Malawi, killing at least 120 people in both countries, UN officials said.
The wake of a storm with no mercy for those in its path. The fragile dwellings of so many ill-equipped to withstand its force. Cyclone Idai made landfall in Mozambique last week, the impact only now becoming clear as help starts to reach Beira, a city of 500,000 people. These rescue pictures were shot overnight. Figures emerging out of darkness like ghosts into the boats and arms of waiting rescue workers. Too few, says the country's president Filipe Nyusi. He's asked for help from abroad. We have rescue equipment, volunteers and doctors arriving now in Maputo, he's saying. Aid workers in the capital say reaching Beira by road is extremely difficult. Two main routes cut off by the storm. Flights only resumed yesterday. Shanty towns along the coast have been especially hard hit, some completely submerged. I woke up because I felt like I was floating, says this 14-year-old, but my leg was actually in water. Hundreds of thousands are now in need.
There is a lot of houses underwater and people looking for support. People mentioned that it is possible to see some dead bodies around.
Zimbabwe, too, has felt the cyclone's touch. The sound of grief carried on the wind in Chimanimani as people start to bury their dead. Video taken by locals shows the power unleashed by the cyclone in the rivers, destroying homes and taking out entire sections of road. Just like Mozambique, it will complicate the rescue effort, and all in a part of the world that can ill afford more hardship.